Welcome back to Hartwell Hustle, and I'm Debbie Henry, and today we've got a treat for you. You know how we talk about things that make Hartwell just click and make us fun and make us exciting? Well, you talk about fun. Today we have someone who is super fun because, and you're gonna be able to tell that by what she does. Today we have Joanna Solid with the Solid Moss Company. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And she takes something, this is gonna surprise you if you've not heard of her before. She takes something that is in nature, that is natural to all of us, probably something you walk across a lot of days out of the week. She takes moss and she creates things. She creates art, a medium with it. And today we're going to talk with her about her business and how she got started and who she is. So again, welcome to Hartwell Hustle. We're glad you're here, and welcome, Joanna.
Thank you.
Glad you're here.
Appreciate it.
So I always start the show this way. Tell us about you. Not about your business, but tell us who you are.
So I have lived in Georgia a good amount of my life. Went to UGA, lived in Atlanta, came and loved the lake.
Okay.
So I moved to the lake with my husband, and we've been here for 5 years. And when I moved out of Atlanta, I was looking for something new to do.
Right.
And I've always been in art, always been doing something related to it.
Did you major in art?
And I didn't major in art. I was in fitness first.
Okay.
So recreation management. And then transitioned, I started making some different pieces for friends and kind of has blown up. And now I do art full time. So I'm able to live in Hartwell and travel around.
That is so nice. And I've not seen any other business like yours. Maybe they're out there. I don't know. But I've not seen any other artists that do what you do. So Solid Moss Company, it kind of works with your name, doesn't it?
I would say, yeah. Having a husband with the last name Solid made it really easy to have a business name.
Yeah. So tell us how you got started.
So
what was your inspiration?
So 5 years ago, I went and took, I walked a half marathon in the woods just to spend time in nature, just to spend time by myself, kind of trying to figure out what was next. And at the end of it, I made, I call them masterpieces, but I made a big masterpiece. And I had some materials left over, and I made a couple of them. And I was working in a wood shop at the time, kind of in transition, doing some end-grain cutting boards. And the people I was working with let me use a wood shop for frames and kind of get started. And they're like, why don't you try to sell it? And so I said, okay, interesting. So I made maybe 5 or 8 of them, and I made a couple more, and I signed up for the Athens Farmers Market, holiday market, and I had all of them up there, and I sold out the first day. And I was like, oh, I should do this.
So you just came up with it on your own.
So it's called biophilic design. Biophilic design
Okay.
is connecting people with nature in their homes, so in their spaces and their places. So whether it's work or offices or like fitness places, like spas, physical therapy places, or homes. But it's connecting someone with nature in your space. Okay. And so there are a couple other people and companies doing it, and mainly if you see the large hotel walls, you might have seen some with all of like reindeer moss or different types of mosses. Yeah. That's called biophilic design. But I do that specifically on a smaller scale in frames for people's houses. So all of them are on frames.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, definitely. Here you go.
Listen. It's so soft.
So it's fluffy. So it's all...
It is.
It's all preserved mosses.
Can you see this?
So you never water it. And what you see is how it'll stay on the wall. They're like paintings, but made out of organic materials.
And do you color the moss on them?
So it's all been colored. In preservation, the moss is either boiled or baked, and then a humectant is added to it. So it takes a little bit of chemistry, but it's a glycerin and color solution. So moss is really porous and absorbs color really well. And so the color is able to stay within the mosses and lichen. So this is reindeer moss or wolf lichen. And then mountain moss. And then I use preserved branches and everything.
Wow. So are there different kinds of moss?
There are thousands of types of moss.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. There's so many different types of moss.
So y'all, this is not the kind of moss that you see growing on the ground, is it?
It is, yes. Okay. So this is not specifically, you can find reindeer moss like this in higher and lower elevations. It grows on trees. So you can find it near streams and ponds. like in Florida, or I went snowboarding in Colorado and have a video of this really big moss-covered tree. And so you can find reindeer moss or wolf lichen out in nature. I do a couple of mixed moss pieces as well with mood moss. So you talk about finding moss locally. Mood moss is all over Georgia. It grows in the clumps in the forested areas. And then also if you have a yard around Georgia, you probably have some sheet moss.
That's what I'm thinking.
In the yard.
Yeah.
Yep, sheet moss is all over. And I do that for kind of the relief or the highs and lows of my different paintings, my masterpieces.
Wow. Your monster pieces.
Masterpieces.
Masterpieces.
Yes, it's like moss-ter-pieces, like masterpieces.
Okay.
Instead of masterpieces.
What's the most unique piece you've done?
That's a great question. I do a good amount with different types of roots. And so I think that every piece is definitely different because the moss grows in different styles and clumps. But I have one with some manzanita roots that is probably one of the coolest ones I feel like I've done. Okay. So I'm trying to go into the more like natural, organic direction. Okay. With large pieces of wood and different pieces of moss. Okay. So we'll see how it goes.
Where do you get your moss?
I get it from a couple of different suppliers.
Okay.
So I can forage for moss, but I don't have that much moss available to me.
Now tell me, okay, I know nothing about moss other than I think this is beautiful and I like it in my yard. But what does hand forge mean?
So what did you ask?
You said hand forge. You said you can.
You can forage for moss. So you can go out and pick your own moss, but you have to boil it, lose its color, and then you have to re-add the color to it. And that takes a long time. So you can also purchase moss, which is the easiest option because moss grows really, really slowly. And so you can purchase living moss and then preserve it, or you can purchase already preserved moss. Okay. And so it's kind of two different avenues. You get different quality for different suppliers. But I have a couple really good suppliers who supply me with preserved mosses. And I have preserved some of it myself. If you ever watch my stories and I have green hands, that means that I've been coloring moss and I forgot to wear gloves.
Oh, wow. Wow. So I know this is like touchy-feely for some people. But let's talk about how these pieces make people feel.
Everyone wants to touch it.
Yeah, it's art.
I do a lot of festivals, and the first thing that someone asks me when they approach me is, can I touch it? And at a festival, I tell them no, and I give them a couple of different bowls that they can touch. Okay. Just to keep everyone from touching art before you take it to your house.
So I shouldn't be touching this.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But in your house, if you do want to poke it, it's fine. But I show them the different pieces or types of moss in the bowl, and you get to feel all the different types of textures. And so, it makes you feel calm and relaxed. But it's also kind of fun to have something that's organic and natural in your home, and you don't have to care for it, so you don't water it. And so you hang it up, and it's great for people who love plants but can't take care of plants.
That would be me. So how long do they last?
So that's a great question. I've been doing it for 5 years, and I guarantee the color for 5 years because that's how long. Some people say forever for preserved moss colors. I don't know. So preserving mosses is relatively new in the last 20-ish years. So it's gotten better with the colors. It's a food and a textile color, and so they have different lasting times. So maybe forever, but I say 5 years.
Okay, well, that's smart. So walk us through your inspiration when you create a piece. Does it come to you beforehand, or do you... and then so you sit down and start to create it, or do you just, what do you do?
So I have a couple different, I would call them collections. So this is part of my tree collection.
And don't you have that on your website? The collections are...
Yeah, so every year I come out with a fall collection, and this is my new 2025 fall collection. So trees. Okay. I do 3 trees and 1 tree and just a bunch of trees. I have little moss mini trees. They're about this size, and then I do really big trees. So that's, I would say in my brain, that's one collection that I'm always fine-tuning and getting better at making. And then I do reindeer moss designs. And so I actually, if I'm doing a custom order, I sketch out designs for a client or a customer. So I draw them out and then I do that design. Okay. And then when I was talking about the wood and the branches, that's kind of a mixed moss design. That's the most unique. And so when I'm putting that together, I flow along with how the roots or the branches go or the different pieces of moss and make the composition kind of flow through and have movement along the piece.
Wow.
So those are kind of the 3 different types of designs that I do.
Okay. So someone told me you teach classes.
I do masterpiece workshops. They're called Make Your Own Masterpiece.
Tell us about that. Where do you do that?
I do them all over. So anyone can sign up for one. I host corporate workshops where a company will contact me and I'll come in and do a workshop for a team. So I do groups of 10 up to 21 people. And then also I have a couple different people. I've done one at the Hartwell Art Center. I did it at the beginning of this year, and then a couple in Decatur with a shop that I have some masterpieces in, and then a local beach is coming up in October. So anyone can have me come in. Basically, I bring everything except for the tables and chairs, and you leave with an 8-inch by 10-inch masterpiece of your own. So I bring frames in a bunch of different colors. You choose your frame color, and I help you do a design, and then I teach you how to put on the individual little pieces of reindeer moss to make whatever design you want. So whether it's trees, I teach you how to do it, or you can draw out like a forest or a landscape or anything like that.
I just love touching that.
So
why do they call it reindeer moss? Do you know?
I'm not sure why. So reindeer moss is actually called a lichen. And so lichen is a mix between algae and fungus. And so it has just a bunch of different names, but this is really common. You can even get it in craft stores if you are looking for reindeer moss. So I pick out and use only the really, really larger pieces with the kind of rounded tops to them. So I go through a lot of moss and I basically clean out all the debris and all the pine straw in it. But I purchase it from a couple suppliers who are different than the craft stores.
So it's very time consuming, right?
And they take a good amount of time to be able to do. So I hand sand and paint all the frames as well.
Wow. So if someone takes your class, how long does that class?
It's 2 hours.
Okay.
So I talk about moss. We have tons and tons of colors out on the table. And we use hot glue, just tiny little dots of glue. It's basically like dot painting, but with individual little colored pieces of moss.
Oh, wow. So, you know what? I just had an idea. If you teach science, it would be great to have her come in and talk about moss. Like if you're going through that chapter in your book or whatever. I just think it'd be a really neat thing to learn about and to educate children on as well. So do you have children classes?
I haven't done it before. I talked with the Hartwell Gardening Club.
Okay.
A couple months ago, but I've never gone into a science classroom.
Okay.
So I don't have children. I don't know how to interact with children, but I could do my best.
Okay. So I know everything hasn't been easy. There had to have been some challenges along the way. What are some of your biggest challenges with it?
I would say one of my biggest challenges right now is doing back-to-back festivals. So I sell online, I sell in person. And then I also, in person means I go to art festivals and craft festivals. So there's a difference between them, but I go and set up on a weekend. And I would say the weather is a big challenge when I'm selling outside.
Oh, why is that?
With rain and, even being cold in the wintertime, it makes it more difficult doing the back-to-back weekends of selling in person. But I really like having someone to be able to feel the texture of the art. And so I want to keep selling in person.
Right.
To be able to see it and then know what it is. Because green stuff is really difficult to take pictures of and to kind of get a good feel for what it is when you're selling online.
Oh,
so I'd say that's another challenge.
Okay. Okay. So when you go to the festivals, are they special order, or do you have to make up a lot of things and take them with you, or how does that work?
So when I go to festivals, I bring inventory with me. So if you see me at a festival, you can purchase everything that you see. Also, I do custom orders, and I can do them on site as well. So if I show you my color frames, I can show you all the sizes that I make of all my frames. So for example, this is the smallest round I have. I have up to 24 inches in a round already made. So 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. And then if you want to special order something larger, I can make that as well.
I saw something on your website, and I don't know how big it was, but it was huge. And we'll pop up a picture on here so everyone can see it. But do you know which one I'm talking about? I mean, it was so big. And it
With the roots in it as well?
Yes.
So that's about 5 foot by 4 foot.
Okay. And tell me about that piece.
So I made that piece.
Is it in your home?
It is actually. My husband purchased it.
Okay.
He said, I want that one. And actually paid me money for it. And so I said, okay, we can keep that one. It's sold. So yeah, that's
it's
in
beautiful.
My entryway. Thank you.
Beautiful.
But that's actually a custom frame. 𝐸 Woodworking, he made that frame for me. And so sometimes I partner with him to help me make the larger frames. I used to make them in a wood shop, but it's a lot easier to have some help locally who can help me out with my larger orders.
Okay.
And that's Matthew.
Okay. And he's local.
He is, yeah.
So we'll have to have him on the show.
I think that would be a great idea. They do good custom woodwork stuff.
Good. So tell us, where do you see your business going? I mean, you've been doing this, 4 years, 5 years, you said?
Yeah, almost 5.
And I don't know. I mean, I feel like your business has just taken off in the past year or so. I don't know. It's your business, not mine, so you may feel differently. But, I mean, word is really spreading fast now. So where do you see your business going in the future?
I want to go the fine art route for preserved moss art. And so...
now, what does that mean? You want to go the fine art route?
That means that I would love to have, in 2027, to have a gallery show and to have really large pieces of art made out of preserved moss and branches and wood, and maybe incorporate different plants and preserved plants and different things in them, but to make art pieces for people's homes that don't change, that are made out of once living things that are statement pieces. So that's the goal, is to try to transition to kind of the fine art, like
right. It truly is, yeah.
Space of preserved moss art.
Right. Right. Have you ever had anything in the art center here?
I have, yeah. I've had a couple pieces hanging up there.
Okay.
So it's fun to see it up on the walls.
Yeah.
It's a little accomplishment every time I put one up.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. And I know everyone, because I'm wanting to know too, what's the price range on your items?
That's a great question. So for Christmas, I have mossy wreaths and trees as little ornaments. They're always $20. Okay. So they're on solid wood backers, and you wrap them up at Christmas, shove them in a box, bring them out the next year.
Okay.
So
and are they this kind of moss?
Yep. So I do some reindeer moss, and then actually, if y'all can see, this is mountain moss. I have some with mountain moss, and I hand tie little bows on them, and they're really cute.
Okay.
So $20. My little frames start at $45 for my little moss minis. Those are 6x6s and 5x7s, and then I go up from there.
Okay.
So the largest piece I've done is about 8 foot by 7 foot in one frame.
Okay. And what did that run?
It was around $6,000.
Okay. Wow.
So
that's beautiful. So if you're looking for a unique gift, I mean, you've heard of those people who have everything and you don't know what to get them. Well, this would be the perfect thing. So anyway, do you have anything else you want to share?
Well, talking about gifting on my website, you can purchase through my website.
Okay.
And my website's actually made to order. So you choose the frame size, you choose the color, and you choose the design, and then you purchase it, and I can write a gift message, write a little card, and I'll ship it to wherever you want. So anywhere domestic.
So did they pick out the design?
Yep. So I have some designs on my website already made. And so you might choose like a 4-tree forest or like purple mountain design. And so they choose the design, and then they have all the frame colors that I offer. And once they purchase it, then I'm in my shop making it, and I'll ship it out.
I love it. So let's talk about people's response when they first see a piece of your art. What's their initial response?
They instantly want to water it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I mean, like, do they spray it or they want to spray it?
Yeah, everyone wants to spray it with water.
And you don't do that?
You don't, because it's been fully preserved. So it does not need water or sunlight.
Okay.
And in preservation, it's been colored. Okay. And so if you purchase a nice painting at your house and bring it inside, you're not going to take it home and water it. So you think of this like a painting.
Okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I'm glad you said that. Because if I ever get a piece, I will.
Yeah, don't water it. And all my little packages that I give out, so I wrap them all. I have a little card that says, "Welcome to the Moss Club." And the first thing it says on the card is, "Please don't water your masterpiece."
Okay. Okay. And you mentioned that you take orders or people might ask you to do special things. What's the most unusual request you've ever had?
I have had the request to do a face before.
Like somebody's face?
Somebody's face.
Oh, please.
And I don't do faces.
No.
So there is cream or darker colored moss, but I don't do faces. So I mainly stick to landscapes. I've done a couple aerial replicas of like mountain houses, kind of the stream that goes by them, stuff like that. But I stay away from faces.
Well, that's smart though, because you know your area. Because a photographer, I've heard you're either good, if you're in photography, you're either good at nature or you're good at people. And that you can't be all things to all people.
I stick with nature.
You stick with nature. You stick with nature. So tell us about who some of your art inspirations have been.
I would say I have some really great artist friends in an artist community. They do a lot of floral designs. And some of them do doodles, and it's just fun to see just how unique everyone is.
They do doodles with this?
Not with this. Okay. So they just, they do like hand drawings.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm always inspired by the work that they're doing because it's so unique to stay in my lane and just stay really unique with what I'm doing.
Okay.
And so there are a couple different moss artists. There's one actually I went a couple weeks ago, maybe about a month, and I saw some of his work in Malaysia, which was really awesome. So it's kind of the next level where I'm trying to go with biophilic design. But I have a couple people who I'm watching to see what they do, and I aspire to kind of have the technique and the ability to do some really cool things like that.
Wow. Wow, that's fascinating to me. So when we talk about the festivals, what's involved with setting, applying for it? Do you have to show them your work? Because some festivals I think would probably go, oh, moss, what's that? You have to submit your work, setting up for it, that kind of thing. What's involved with going to a festival? So
I plan my schedule about 6 to 8 months ahead of time. In order to apply and to be part of festivals, you submit an application. It usually just involves answering questions, and then you submit 3 to 5 images and then a booth image.
Okay.
And so from that, a jury sits down around a table and looks at the images of all these artists that submit images, and they give you a score. And so if you score in the top, you get to go. If you score in the bottom, you either get waitlisted or you get a no.
Wow.
And so there are some really great art festivals that I've been trying to get in, and I'm not quite there yet. And there's a good number of festivals that I'm in and consistent, and I go every year.
I can't imagine anyone would tell you no.
I get no.
Really?
They do, yeah.
And do they give you a reason?
So no, you don't get reasons. Okay. You just get a score. You don't actually get your score, but you just get told no. So then you try again the next year.
Wow. Okay. Well, this has been interesting, and I hope you've learned a lot. And I hope when you see Joanna at the festivals, because she is at our festivals, that you'll stop by and say hey, and you saw her on Hartwell Hustle. And I want to thank you for coming today. And this has been your Hartwell Hustle, and we look forward to seeing you next time. I'm Debbie Henry. Thanks for watching.